A lot of riders think any touring bike will feel comfortable once you get out on the highway. Then 3 hours later, their lower back is cooked. The wind noise is driving them insane, and they're counting miles instead of enjoying them. But some motorcycles get it right in a way that genuinely surprises older riders. Today, we're looking at 15 touring bikes that riders over 50 keep praising for one simple reason. They make long days feel easy. And trust me, the motorcycle sitting at number 1 changes everything older riders thought touring had to feel like. Number 15, Kawasaki Versys 650 LT. Not every touring motorcycle is built for the kind of riding senior riders actually do. Some feel impressive at first, until the wind, weight, and riding position start wearing you down. The Kawasaki Versys 650 LT takes a completely different approach. This is the kind of motorcycle that starts making more sense the longer you live with it. No unnecessary bulk, no exhausting riding position, no feeling like you need to wrestle the machine every time the road gets tight or the parking lot gets crowded. The ergonomics are where the magic starts. The upright seating position keeps pressure off the wrists and lower back, while the wide handlebars naturally fall into place without forcing your shoulders into awkward angles. Add in the roomy leg position, and the whole bike feels open, relaxed, and easy to settle into for hours at a time. Then comes the highway comfort. The adjustable windshield and front fairing do a surprisingly solid job calming down wind turbulence at interstate speeds. And that matters more than many riders realize, because after 50, constant wind pressure stops feeling exciting and starts feeling exhausting. What also makes the Versys stand out is how unintimidating it feels. At slower speeds, the balance is remarkably friendly. U-turns, stop, and go traffic, uneven parking lots. This bike never feels like it wants to punish you for small mistakes. The parallel twin engine delivers smooth, predictable power with enough strength for loaded touring, but without the harshness or unnecessary aggression bigger motorcycles sometimes bring. It cruises comfortably, sips fuel responsibly, and has built a reputation for long-term dependability that owners constantly praise. Brand new models usually land just above $10,000, while clean used examples often cost nearly half that. And if this countdown's helping you narrow down your next touring bike, throw some hype in the comments for the bike you'd actually ride cross-country, because we've still got some seriously impressive long-distance machines coming up. And the next motorcycle on this list goes in the complete opposite direction. Sharper, faster, more high-tech, and shockingly refined once the miles start piling up. Number 14, Yamaha Tracer 9GT. For older riders who still love the feeling of a spirited machine, but no longer want the physical punishment that usually comes with it, this bike hits a seriously sweet spot. The riding position feels intelligently designed from the very first mile. The bars rise naturally toward the rider. The seating posture stays upright and supportive, and the peg placement avoids putting too much pressure on aging knees and hips. Hours on the highway feel surprisingly manageable, even for riders who thought their long-distance days were behind them. What really separates the Tracer from larger touring motorcycles is how light it feels underneath you. Slow speed, handling feels composed, parking lot, maneuvers feel less stressful, and the overall balance inspires confidence instead of tension. Then the technology starts showing up. Electronically adjustable suspension, cruise control, heated grips, integrated luggage, rider modes, and a highly effective windscreen all work together to reduce fatigue during long trips. And the CP3 triple-cylinder engine, absolute magic. Smooth at cruising speeds, responsive when needed, and impressively refined with very little vibration reaching the bars or pegs. New GT models usually climb into the mid-$15,000 range, while well-kept used examples often sell closer to $10,000 or $12,000. For riders who still want touring capability wrapped inside something athletic, polished, and wonderfully alive, the Tracer 9 GT feels like a motorcycle built for enjoying the road, not merely enduring it. Just curious about this one. What usually wears you out first on a long ride? Wind fatigue? Seat pain? Knee position? Vibration through the bars? Leave a comment and let us know, because a lot of riders don't realize how different touring feels once your body starts noticing every mile. And the next motorcycle trades high-tech sharpness for something completely different. Old-school dependability and mile-eating simplicity that riders over 50 absolutely swear by. Number 13, Suzuki V-Strom 650 Touring. Over the years, this machine has quietly become one of the most trusted long-distance companions older riders have ever thrown a leg over. And honestly, it's easy to understand why. This motorcycle was never built to impress people standing in a coffee shop parking lot. It was built to make long days on the road feel easy, predictable, and wonderfully uncomplicated. The ergonomics are a huge part of that formula. The upright handlebars, relaxed seating position, and roomy leg setup help reduce pressure on the hips, shoulders, and lower back during extended rides. After several hours in the saddle, the V-Strom still feels cooperative instead of demanding. Then there's the engine. Suzuki's 645 cubic centimeter V-twin has earned near legendary status for its smooth character and bulletproof reliability. It delivers highway power in a calm, usable way that never overwhelms the rider, even with luggage and a passenger on board. The touring package adds practical features older riders genuinely appreciate: integrated side cases, solid wind protection, and real-world touring versatility straight from the factory. When new, touring models usually landed around the $10,000 mark. Today, clean used examples can often be found for thousands less, making this one of the smartest values in the entire touring world. For riders who want less stress and more miles, the V-Strom 650. Touring keeps proving that comfort and dependability never go out of style. But there's still a group of riders who want that same confidence with a little more refinement in the suspension, a little more technology on the highway, and a little more prestige in the badge sitting beneath the windshield. And for those riders, the next step forward comes straight from Germany, engineered to make distance feel smaller than it really is. Number 12, B. MW F750 GES. The moment you throw a leg over it, this bike feels balanced, approachable, and surprisingly unintimidating, especially for senior riders who still want adventure without wrestling a 600-pound land yacht every time they leave a parking lot. And that's exactly why so many experienced riders end up falling in love with this thing. The seating position is pure long-distance comfort. You sit naturally upright, your arms fall easily onto the wide handlebars, and your knees aren't folded into awkward angles after hours on the road. The lower seat height also adds a huge layer of confidence at stoplights, gas stations, and uneven pavement, where taller adventure bikes can quickly become exhausting. Then there's the road behavior. The 853 cubic centimeter parallel twin delivers smooth, usable power without feeling abrupt or overwhelming. Highway cruising feels planted, relaxed, and remarkably refined, with very little vibration creeping into the bars or pegs. At available cruise control, heated grips, rider modes, electronic suspension adjustment, and BMW's crystal clear TFT display and long-distance touring starts feeling less like work and more like escape. It's also lighter and easier to manage than many full-size ADV machines, which becomes more important the longer you ride and the older your body gets. For riders who want premium touring comfort without excessive bulk, the F750 GS quietly becomes one of the smartest motorcycles in the entire category. But taller adventure styling still isn't everyone's idea of relaxed, long-distance comfort. Some senior riders eventually realize they're not looking for off-road capability at all. They simply want smoother pavement manners, easier mounting, and less physical effort during endless highway miles. That realization leads directly to the next machine, a touring bike built around pure road comfort where even the transmission itself can help take stress off the rider. Number 11, Honda NT 1100. Some touring motorcycles try to impress you with size. The Honda NT 1100 wins riders over a completely different way by making every mile feel easy. And for senior riders, that becomes priceless. The moment you settle into the saddle, the bike feels calm, natural, and unbelievably unintimidating. The handlebars sit close and upright, taking pressure off your shoulders and wrists, while the relaxed peg position keeps your knees from feeling cramped after long highway stretches. This isn't a machine built for showing off, it's built for riding. And once the miles start stacking up, the comfort really starts making sense. The large fairing and adjustable windscreen create a surprisingly quiet pocket of air, helping reduce helmet buffeting and upper body fatigue during long travel days. Underneath it all sits Honda's smooth 1,084 cubic centimeter parallel twin, delivering steady torque and relaxed highway power without harsh vibration or sudden aggression. But the real magic for many older riders is the available DCT automatic transmission. No constant clutch work, no endless shifting in traffic, just smooth, effortless touring that lets you focus on the road instead of fighting the motorcycle. Brand new NT 1100 models typically land between roughly $14,000 and $16,000 depending on trim and transmission, while clean used examples often range from around $10,500 to $14,000. For riders who want modern touring comfort without unnecessary stress, the NT1100 quietly becomes one of the smartest long-distance machines Honda has ever built. And if these are the kinds of motorcycles you wish somebody had recommended years ago, go ahead and like the video. Because honestly, most riders don't discover how important comfort really is until they've already spent thousands on the wrong bike. And if the Honda feels almost too sensible, the next motorcycle is exactly what opens the door to the next chapter. A top 10 machine built to rumble across state lines with old school soul and modern comfort working side by side. Number 10. Indian Springfield. After enough years in the saddle, priorities start shifting. Riders stop chasing razor-sharp handling and chest-thumping acceleration. What they really want is a motorcycle that melts away underneath them. Something that carries the miles without punishing the body in the process. That's exactly where the Springfield shines. The moment you climb aboard, the ergonomics start working in your favor. The seat sits just 26 inches from the ground, giving riders that immediate flat-footed confidence at stoplights and parking lots. The floorboards let your legs stretch naturally. The bars rise toward your hands instead of forcing your shoulders forward. And the upright riding position takes tension off the lower back, hips, wrists, and knees almost instantly. Hours later, you feel the difference. Then there's the Thunderstroke 116 V-twin. This engine doesn't beg to be revved. It simply rolls forward with deep, effortless torque that makes highway riding feel almost lazy in the best possible way. Passing traffic takes barely any effort. Cruising feels relaxed. The motorcycle never sounds stressed, never feels frantic, never asks too much from the rider. And that calm personality becomes strangely addictive. The suspension softens. Rough pavement beautifully. Cruise control gives your throttle hand a break on long interstate stretches. And the quick-release windshield blocks. Enough wine to leave you noticeably fresher at the end of the day. Even two-up touring feels remarkably composed. Now yes, the Springfield still carries real weight. Fully fueled, it pushes well past 800 pounds. But once moving, the balance is so planted and predictable that many senior riders actually describe it as reassuring rather than intimidating. Brand new models typically start around $23,000, while clean used examples can often be found between $14,000 and $20,000, depending on year and condition. But once the miles become tighter, twistier, and more unpredictable, some riders begin searching for the next answer. Something with touring comfort that feels just a little narrower, a little more nimble, and full of personality without carrying quite so much bulk. And for decades, the Italians have had their own unique solution to exactly that problem. Number 9. Moto Guzzi California Touring. This motorcycle doesn't chase trends, giant touchscreens, or overcomplicated technology. Instead, it focuses on something older riders start appreciating more every single year: connection, relaxation, and effortless miles. The ergonomics are a huge part of that magic. The low, deeply supportive seat keeps mounting easy, while the broad floorboards and naturally pulled back handlebars create a riding posture that feels loose, open, and wonderfully unforced. After several hours on the interstate, your back, shoulders, and knees still feel human. Then comes that legendary Transverse V-twin. At idle, the engine has character you can actually feel beneath you. But once the California settles into highway speed, everything smooths out into this calm, rhythmic flow that makes long-distance touring strangely satisfying. The shaft drive only adds to the appeal: quiet, clean, and nearly maintenance-free. And here's where things get really interesting. When new, California touring models typically landed between $18,000 and $20,000, depending on trim and year. But today, well-kept used examples often sell between $11,000 and $16,000, making this one of the smartest luxury touring values anywhere on the market, especially when you consider the comfort. The windshield handles highway wind beautifully, the saddlebags are genuinely practical for multi-day travel, and despite its size, the motorcycle feels surprisingly balanced once moving. Many senior riders describe it as confidence-building rather than intimidating. But personality alone isn't always enough for riders chasing true cross-country comfort after 55. Some eventually want the next machine to feel bigger, calmer, and more planted against endless highway wind, the kind of motorcycle built specifically for devouring American asphalt mile after mile without wearing the rider down. And no name became more connected to that mission than the one waiting in the next spot. Number 8. Harley-Davidson Road King. Some motorcycles try to reinvent touring. The Harley-Davidson Road King simply perfected a formula riders have loved for decades. And for many senior riders, this machine represents the exact moment motorcycling stops, feeling tiring, and starts feeling natural again. Everything about the Road King is built around long-distance ease. The low seat height inspires confidence at stops. The broad floorboards let riders stretch their legs during endless highway miles, and the relaxed handlebar position helps keep pressure away from aging wrists and shoulders. Then comes the highway ride itself, and this is where the Road King earns its legendary reputation. The Milwaukee 8 V-twin delivers deep, effortless torque in a calm, unhurried way that feels perfectly suited for cross-country travel. Add the detachable windshield, plush saddle, and remarkably planted chassis, and the whole motorcycle settles into a smooth rhythm that almost feels therapeutic. Brand new Road Kings usually start around $25,000, while clean used examples can range anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000 depending on generation and condition. While the Road King masters classic highway touring, not every senior rider wants old school tradition. Some prefer the next evolution of comfort, smoother aerodynamics, less engine vibration, and fatigue-reducing technology for 500-mile days. That brings us to a machine many veteran riders still consider one of motorcycling's best-kept secrets. Number 7. Yamaha FJR 1300. Some motorcycles get remembered because they were fast. The Yamaha FJR 1300 became legendary because it made enormous distances feel strangely easy. And senior riders noticed that immediately. Because while many touring bikes lean heavily toward either luxury or sportness, the FJR somehow balanced both without exhausting the rider in the process. It carries genuine highway performance, but wraps it inside a riding experience that feels controlled, smooth, and remarkably civilized. The ergonomics are a huge reason why. The riding position keeps pressure away from the wrists and shoulders. The seat remains supportive deep into long riding days, and the electronically adjustable windscreen dramatically reduces highway buffeting. After several hours in the saddle, your body still feels surprisingly fresh. Then comes the inline-4 engine, silky, refined, almost electric at interstate speed. Very little vibration reaches the bars or pegs, which matters enormously for older riders dealing with stiffness or hand fatigue. And thanks to the shaft drive, maintenance stays refreshingly minimal. When new final FJR models sold around $18,000. Today, clean used examples often range between $6,000 and $14,000, making this one of the smartest long-distance bargains anywhere in motorcycling. The FJR doesn't chase attention. It simply devours miles with quiet confidence. But after years in the saddle, some riders start wanting the next machine to feel less sport-focused and more physically relaxed during truly massive touring days. They want more room to stretch out and effortless passing power without high revs. That search leads directly to the next Japanese heavyweight, a bike engineered to swallow interstate miles so fast they barely feel real. Number 6. Kawasaki Concours 14. Some motorcycles get older riders excited for the wrong reasons. The Kawasaki Concours 14 earns respect because it makes big miles feel shockingly effortless. And the first time most senior riders experience one on the highway, the reaction is usually the same. Wait, this thing is that comfortable? Because underneath the performance reputation, the Concours hides a completely different personality. The 1,352 cubic centimeter inline-4 feels unbelievably smooth once it settles into highway speeds. At interstate pace, the engine barely feels awake, with almost no vibration reaching the bars, pegs, or seat. That calmness becomes a huge advantage for riders dealing with wrist fatigue, stiff shoulders, or lower back soreness during long travel days. The electronically adjustable windshield also works wonders. Wind pressure drops dramatically, helmet buffeting fades away, and suddenly crossing. Entire states starts feeling less exhausting than expected. And while the Concours absolutely has power, Kawasaki balanced the ergonomics brilliantly. The bars sit comfortably upright, the saddle supports long hours in the seat, and the riding position avoids the cramped punishment of aggressive sport bikes. When new final generation Concours 14 ABSA models hovered around $17,000. Today, clean used examples commonly range between roughly $7,500 and $13,000, making this one of the best touring bargains on the market. But eventually, many senior riders discover something important. Capability alone doesn't always equal comfort. After 6 or 7 straight hours, some begin craving the next level entirely. Less pressure on the hips, less tension in the knees, less fatigue from supporting the bike's sporty posture. And for decades, one motorcycle has defined that standard better than anything else on 2 wheels. Number 5. Honda Goldwing. At some point, many senior riders stop asking which motorcycle is the fastest. They start asking which one leaves them feeling the least exhausted after a full day on the road. And that question is exactly why the Honda Goldwing has become almost untouchable in the touring world. Everything about this motorcycle is designed to protect the rider from fatigue. The seat feels deeply cushioned and supportive. The riding posture stays wonderfully relaxed, and the floorboards give aging knees and hips room to breathe during long interstate stretches. After hours in the saddle, your body still feels surprisingly fresh. Then comes the flat six engine. Smooth doesn't even begin to describe it. At highway speed, the Goldwing glides forward with almost zero harsh vibration. Wind protection is exceptional. Cruise control removes strain from your throttle hand, and Honda's available DCT transmission makes long-distance riding feel astonishingly effortless. Brand new Goldwing Tour models now begin around $28,000, while clean used examples often range between $18,000 and $28,000 depending on trim. Older Goldwings can still deliver remarkable touring comfort for far less. And maybe that's the real magic here. The Goldwing doesn't try to make riding feel exciting every second. It tries to make you want to keep riding long after the sun disappears. But not every touring rider wants their comfort delivered through full-dress luxury and sheer size. Some begin looking for the next answer, something that keeps the premium touring experience intact while feeling lighter on its feet, more precise in corners, and easier to maneuver at slower speeds. And in Europe, one machine built its reputation around doing exactly that with surgical precision. Number 4. BMW R1250 RT. Some touring motorcycles feel big. The BMW R1250 RT feels intelligent, and for senior riders who still crave long-distance freedom. Without the exhaustion that often comes with heavyweight machines, that difference becomes impossible to ignore. The first thing you notice is how naturally the motorcycle fits the body. The upright seating position keeps the spine relaxed, the bars prevent wrist strain, and the overall ergonomics feel carefully engineered for riders who plan to spend real hours in the saddle, not just quick weekend blasts. But the real surprise comes once the wheels start turning. Despite carrying full luggage, advanced electronics, and serious weather protection, the RT feels astonishingly manageable at low speeds. BMW's Boxer engine keeps the weight planted low to the ground, which gives older riders far more confidence during parking lot maneuvers, stop and go traffic, and tight roadside turns. Then comes the refinement. The shift cam Boxer Twin delivers strong, effortless torque while staying impressively composed at highway speeds. Add the electronically adjustable windshield, heated grips, adaptive cruise control, and plush seat, and the motorcycle begins to feel less like transportation and more like a rolling luxury suite. New RT models commonly push well beyond $20,000 once equipped, while used examples can often be found between $14,000 and $20,000 depending on year and options. But what truly separates the RT is how little energy it demands from the rider. Long distances stop feeling draining and start feeling strangely addictive. Still, you might want your machine to feel emotionally bigger, more presence at idle, more road trip atmosphere, more of that unmistakable American highway character that transforms every stop into part of the experience. And when riders start chasing comfort wrapped in pure road presence, the next chapter almost always points toward Milwaukee. Number 3. Harley-Davidson Street Glide. Some touring motorcycles focus purely on comfort. The Harley-Davidson Street Glide does something far harder. It delivers real long-distance relaxation without losing that unmistakable sense of presence riders still crave after decades on the road. And that's exactly why so many senior riders keep coming back to it. The riding position feels instantly familiar. The low seat height builds confidence at stops. The floorboards let you stretch your legs naturally during long highway runs, and the handlebars fall comfortably into place without forcing pressure onto your shoulders or wrists. After hours in the saddle, that matters more than horsepower numbers ever will. Then there's the Batwing fairing. At highway speeds, it cuts through wind remarkably well, reducing upper body fatigue while still keeping the motorcycle feeling open and connected to the road. Pair that with the Milwaukee 8V Twin, and the entire experience becomes smooth, relaxed, and deeply satisfying. The torque arrives effortlessly without constant shifting or aggressive throttle work, making long-distance travel feel almost second nature. Modern street glides also bring cruise control, navigation, rider safety systems, infotainment, and impressive luggage capacity, turning this into a true cross-country machine without losing its soul. Brand new street glides now start around $27,000, while clean, used Milwaukee 8 models typically range between $16,000 and $27,000, depending on trim and mileage. Older twin-cam versions can still be found for under $15,000, giving experienced riders an incredibly tempting entry into premium American touring. But once riders begin traveling farther with passengers and fully loaded luggage, another priority starts creeping into the conversation: maximum luxury, more storage, more passenger space, more weather isolation, more long-haul amenities designed specifically for riders who measure trips in states instead of miles. And that demand for the next level of touring comfort opened the door for a machine that treats cross-country travel almost like first-class transportation. Number 2, Indian Roadmaster. Some touring motorcycles help you travel. The Indian Roadmaster helps you endure the distance without feeling destroyed afterward. And for senior riders, that becomes priceless. The comfort is immediate. The seat feels deeply padded and genuinely luxurious. The upright riding position eases pressure on the lower back and shoulders, and the large floorboards give aging knees room to move naturally during long highway days. Hours later, your body still feels surprisingly relaxed. Then comes the weather protection. The massive fairing, adjustable windshield, and lower wind deflectors create an unbelievably calm pocket of air at interstate speed. Add heated grips, heated seats, cruise control, premium audio, and enormous luggage space, and the Roadmaster starts feeling less like a motorcycle and more like a rolling cross-country machine. The Thunderstroke 116 V-Twin only strengthens that experience with smooth, low-end torque that never feels demanding or frantic. Brand new Roadmasters typically begin around $32,000, while clean used models often sell between $18,000 and $29,000 depending on trim and condition. And if you really enjoy these long-form touring breakdowns, becoming a member is honestly the best way to support the channel. Members get the new videos early, but more importantly, they get the deeper comparisons, hidden buyer advice, and the motorcycle pics we usually cannot fit into the public uploads. And the motorcycle coming next perfected that idea better than almost anything ever built on two wheels. Number 1, Honda Goldwing Tour DCT. Some motorcycles are built for speed, others for style. The Honda Goldwing Tour DCT was built for something far more important: helping riders keep chasing the road long after most people would have given up. And that is exactly why it earns the top spot. The moment you settle into the saddle, everything feels designed to remove fatigue from the experience. The seating position stays relaxed, and the flat-six engine glides down the highway with almost unbelievable smoothness. But the true masterpiece is the DCT transmission. No constant clutch work, no exhausting stop and go strain. Just seamless, effortless touring that allows aging riders to focus on enjoying the ride instead of managing the motorcycle. Heated seats, cruise control, premium luggage space, advanced suspension, and luxury level passenger comfort only deepen the experience. New Goldwing Tour DCT models usually approach $30,000, while clean used examples can often be found anywhere from the high teens to the mid-20s. And honestly, for many riders, this is not just a motorcycle anymore, it is freedom with fewer compromises. And if this video helped you rethink what real touring comfort actually looks like, the next video goes even deeper into the motorcycles riders never stop talking about after they buy them. Click the next video and keep the ride going with us. Subscribe if you have not already, become a member for early access to upcoming videos, and do not forget to like the video before you head out.